as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action. So we're going to grab Druid here because it's been a long time. I'm really excited to play as Druid, and we'll see what we can do here. So starting off with Rare, as is often the case, these are all very, very good. We'll take Keeper of the Grove. The Silence can be good, although usually I'll be expecting to deal the 2 damage, especially in this aggro-heavy metagame, where putting a creature down and then killing off one of your opponent's little creatures could be potentially very, very valuable. Here, I'm going to take this guy for the early gameplay and for the healing. Cult Master is definitely what I would have taken in another life, but I think having the heal is especially important now that so many decks play aggro. Here this is total trash. The Master is fine. I'm going to take just another Keeper of the Grove. I think it's really, really good. Starfire, a bit slow as far as removal goes, but it's nice to have one of these, and these are both sort of average creatures. We'll take the Starfire here. Grab the one we need for our deck. Violet Teacher, nice body for 4 mana. I don't mean her body. I mean her stats. And I don't mean her, like, anyway, this is a pretty good body, and the hero ability is nice, but we'll take the Stampeding Kodo. I know I just talked about being anti-aggro, and then I'm taking the more expensive card here, but the Stampeding Kodo I think is nice. It kills off Shaman Totems, it kills off little Dinkersaurus Rex, and whatever. Starfire, number 2. I don't want 2 Starfires, I just don't. So we'll take Savage Roar. I'm not a super big fan of that card, but it's alright. So, yeah, I'll take a Premier 6-drop here. This is okay, but I'd rather reserve my 4-mana spot for other things. Plus, I've already got 2 good 4-drops. So we'll take the Premier late-game card just to have some late-game here. And that's it. Okay, well, we'll just take the Fen Creeper for the taunt to try to hold up if we're losing at that point. Tricky call here between the Ghoul or the Senjin. Both are very, very good. We'll take the Senjin for some more blockage. Well, Pyromancer just as a 2-drop. I don't really expect to use his ability much. Oh god, these are both trash cards. I think even anti-aggro mindset, I can't justify taking those. We'll take the Windfury Harpy there. Okay, well, here we can take some healing. I do love this guy a lot, but the Flesh-Eating Ghoul also is terrific, so we'll take it there. Although anything less than like one of the best 3-drops in the game would have not stopped me from taking that, the Dark Scale Healer. Okay, here we'll take Swipe. Pretty much always want to take those. And Silence is okay. I'm going to try this guy. He can really slow down some aggressive opponents. Okay, what is up with this? I can't take either of these. We'll take a Lord of the Arena. Too many 6-drops already here, but that's just life. Here we'll take the Out Against Weapons and the early drop. This is nice. It's an early drop if you need it. It's a buff if you need it later on. Dark Iron Dwarf is good, but we'll take the removal because removal is good. The Harvest Golem is really good, but given how expensive my deck is, let's actually grab an Innervate. I do like that card quite a bit. I've learned playing with it. It's quite nice. This guy's a bit slow to get going, and it's not really great as in 3-drop. This guy also isn't really a 3-drop. You don't really want to play it and give your opponent extra mana. We'll take the Questing Adventurer, I suppose. Aha. Well, here I think the Chillwind Yeti as a Premier 4-drop is nice. Also a very good Innervate target. I don't want 2 of these. I'm not a fan of this card to begin with, so we'll take the River Crocolisk there. Oh, another Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Single out of those, but we'll just take another Swipe. That's good. Good at healing stuff. Okay, so Fen Creeper number 2 or Farseer number 2. We'll take the Farseer number 2. A bit cheaper, a bit more flexible. Okay, here we'll take the Cult Master. I don't want any more 6-drops. And a more early game removal seems good over the early drops myself. Gurubashi, I know he looks really tempting, he fits into the curve, but I just don't want any more expensive stuff if I can help it. So even though this guy's mediocre, I'm going to take him. I don't like Soul of the Forest, but I will play with Wild Growth. I have increased respect for that card. And do I take the Ironbark Protector? Sure. Let's have one of those. And Argent Commander is great. Nourish definitely is a solid card. No question about it. Card draw and everything. But the Argent Commander is removal of a sort, and is just so ball-breaking every time he gets played against you. When a Druid, basically it's like this. When a Druid plays Nourish, I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. When anyone plays Argent Commander, I'm like, no! So, you gotta trust your experience when you're evaluating cards like that. So this deck, I'd say is actually really good, I would say. But just because what I know about the metagame now, with aggro being the new normal, as it were, I'm a little bit concerned by how expensive it is. What I'm going to do is mulligan super duper aggressively. We're just going to, even though those are fine, and in another life I might have kept the Yeti, I'm just going to try to get my removal and my early drops. Well, that looks a whole lot better. So the Ooze, though, I'm not going to be playing this because I'm up against a warrior. So that's just going to wait until he drops a Fiery War Axe or whatever. But the Claw will kill most things he can play. And I've got my 3 drops all set here, so let's see. Hopefully this doesn't have 3 health. It has 2 health. Ah, well, this is exactly the kind of thing that Claw is very good against, because Claw is non-targeting. I can attack this, no problem. Down it goes. Good thing I took those Claws. So here, next turn, we'll see what he plays. Probably I'll play this. I don't want to waste 2 points of healing, but I might end up actually doing this guy if what he plays is like a Raging Worgen, say. You wouldn't want to drop a Farseer in front of it. Okay, so now that the board is empty, though, we will drop that. We'll see if he's been slow boating a Fiery War Axe on me here. Nice that we got his coin out of the picture, which is good. No coin. Interesting choice here. Wouldn't have made that play myself. Dropping this when you know your opponent can kill it with hero ability plus this creature seems a bit odd, to say the least. Because this is such a valuable creature, you don't want to put it down, you know, and just have it die. I could even kill it with Keeper of the Grove. But let's actually go ahead and play it a little bit slowly. The reason I'm playing this a bit slowly is because I did draw the River Crocolisk. Had I not drawn... Oh, this guy can still attack. Remember Wind Fury, kids. Remember Wind Fury. If this had been... If this hadn't been dropped, I probably would have just attacked once and used Keeper of the Grove to finish it off. Put another body on the board. Now we're going to get to hang on to this and reserve it for damage later on. So my damage potential is actually pretty high here if my opponent has, like, say, no removal. This is like 6 damage a turn. That's a fifth of his health. That's kind of good. And I've got 6 points of burn here. Well, that's a pretty good card. Oh, no, I think my opponent's... boy, I just really don't think my opponent's playing this right. He really should have killed this thing that deals 4 damage a turn and lived to tell about it, too. I don't know what he's doing. So I can actually play the Savage Roar, which is interesting. This would let me deal... What is that? 2, 4, 6, 8 damage, so I could hit him for like 14 damage right now if I wanted to. I don't want to use burn like that, though. I think what I'll do... Oh, sadly, I'm 1 mana short of using this and hero ability. I could swipe it. That seems a bit loose. Okay, we'll do this. We'll attack once there. Attack once here. Finish it off. Swing. Now I'm not wasting this Farseer. So now I'm dealing... Okay, I'm dealing 5 damage a turn instead of 6 damage a turn. And I've upgraded my 2-3 into a 3-3. That seems fine. Now I have enough mana next turn to do this and hero ability, so I can deal 3 damage to a minion. Although at 5 mana, of course, better stuff could be dropping. Like that. So I have some interesting options. I could actually silence this, which is interesting. And swing for 5, down to 21. Well, I still had a lot of health. And this thing will then just kill my keeper. That seems a bit sad. I could, of course, run the Crocolisk into this and then play keeper for damage. This would be at 1 health, this would be at 2. It's a bit dicey. I'm not a super big fan of that move. It's an option, though. I could run the Farseer and use hero ability to finish it off. This stays at 1 health, and I get to play this engine. I like that plan a lot. That's the plan I like. I could also swipe this. I just don't like having lots of damage creatures around against a warrior. Is my thing. So order matters a lot here. First you attack, then you let him die, deal damage to everything, then you play this engine. No reason to let this engine take 2 extra damage for nothing, especially against warriors who have execute. You really don't want to damage your creatures if you can, you know, at all help it. So an execute or a whirlwind would finish this off. I'm sure he doesn't really want to use those removal spells against that, though. What I'm hoping to see is like an Arcanite Reaper, kill this engine, and then I play the ooze after it, and bam. Burn his weapon. Melt it to the ground. Cleave also is good there. It's probably, I guess, the best way to finish off my creature. And the Chillwind Yeti is actually annoyingly good. Alright, we'll do this. Let's deal 2 damage. And, well, Savage Roar unfortunately doesn't quite do enough to kill it. I guess I could have Savage Roared plus hero ability. That still wouldn't have been enough to kill it. Yeah, it's just not enough to kill it. We'll just trade. I could have left it alone, but I didn't want to. I didn't want him to have removal for it, and then all of a sudden the Yeti kills the Keeper. That would have been really sad. So we'll just keep a 2-4 here. So the situation is 5 cards to 5, but I'm drawing my 6th. And he's got the play. So it's anyone's game. Very, very close. My cards aren't the greatest here. I got the Savage Roar, which, as I've said before, I'm not a super big fan of. Alright, there's the Arcanite Reaper. So my Ooze will get some use. And none of my other cards are really playable, which is very annoying. He's not giving me anything to remove. Argent Commander! That is solid. And I have just enough mana to play him here. That's good. The risk, of course, is if he has like some kind of profitable way of getting rid of the Divine Shield, like a Whirlwind or a Slam, that would be annoying. But that's fine. It's still a 4/3 that charges. Ah, Mad Bomber's another way. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. That was ridiculous. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, swipe on this is interesting. Not quite interesting enough. I could silence this. Wait, can I do this? Ah, no, I'm 1 minute short. Damn it. I could just use 2 damage to kill that Mad Bomber. Oh, but then I can't quite swipe. I can't quite kill this. It'll just kill my... well, either of my guys, actually.
I wonder.
I could silence this, swipe it. The Mad Bomber will live. But I think that's my best option. Well, no, I could swipe this, damage it? That's actually the same thing, isn't it?
What to do?
I could swipe this thing, trade my guy.
Waits for no one.
Oh boy, there's just no good way. Let's play Questing Adventure. I think I'll play Savage Roar, maybe? So now this dies, that dies. I think that was the only way I could do this without losing any cards. So I've got a 3/3 that will grow if he doesn't kill it. I cannot believe how ridiculous that Mad Bomber was. It did the perfect thing. It dealt 2 damage to my creature, and killing it, my Ooze, and then also popped the Divine Shield while it was at it. It was just so nuts. I am very frustrated. Fiery War Axe, it nips my Questing Adventure in the bud. Man, this just couldn't get any worse. So we got card advantage from this and from that, so now I'm actually very, very, very far behind. Ironbark Protect, well, that is a pretty good draw here. We'll do it. That might catch me up, although you never know. He might have like an Execute or something and have an easy way to finish this off. At the moment, he's got 7 damage, but that would kind of negate his card advantage, because he'd then need 1 more card to finish this off, and it would be even on cards. Well, I'm glad I took 1 Ironbark Protector into my deck. That's nice.
I wonder.
Oh my god, that Mad Bomber won him the game. That's all there is to it. Battle Rage. So he's drawing a card. Okay.
My blade be thirsty.
Okay. And he has the Execute, because of course he does. Of course he does. Well, that is actually a fairly good turn of events. Let's first draw a card, because you should always draw cards first. Just in case. Claw. Okay, that's nice. We're gonna do swipe on this. And then Keeper of the Grove for the damage. So this Fire War Axe doesn't quite kill the Keeper, which is good, and we're sort of even. He's got a weapon that can't kill my creature, and 2 cards to my 2 cards. Battle Rage for another card. Alright. It's a close game, definitely. Jesus. This guy drafted 3 Battle Rages? I think that was a mistake. I do not think it is correct to draft 3 Battle Rages. Let's just put that on the record. Alright, he didn't have another creature to charge with that thing, so I'm going to get to kill it, which is really good. Got a Claw, Hero ability, finish that off. This Warrior might have been able to beat me, actually, with more precise drafting and more precise play, because even as it is, it was really, really freaking close. And if he hadn't like drafted 3 Battle Rages, then he might have actually been fine.
I hope you like my invention.
Yeah, he's cycling through a lot of his deck. He's drawn 5 more cards than I have here.
Behold the might
Storm
of
Champion, good card. Okay. I've got 8 + 2 is 10 damage, 11 damage. If I draw another source of damage, I will just win right here. That won't do it. Oh, I regret everything. So, I think I do need to kill this, and the reason for that is if I don't, then the Novice Engineer plus the Fiery War Axe would kill off the Shield Bearer, and then the Storm Champion could kill the Windfury Harpy. So I'd rather have a Windfury Harpy that's damaged than a Windfury Harpy that's dead. That is why I made the decision I made. Now, of course, he can use the Stormwind Champion to kill this and then kill the Windfury Harpy with the axe, but that does require him taking damage. Oh no, that's not good. That is not good, because now he does get to kill it. Ah, balls. It's actually, well, that's a little bit ballsy there. I wouldn't have done that when I'm that low on life. But he might not have to pay for his mistake if I don't draw my Starfire or my other swipe anytime soon here. In fact, I only have 1 chance to draw those. And I drew it. Well, you could say that I got a lucky top deck. I would say that my opponent played it correctly. He did not need to give me that out. He could have had a very comfortable win without doing that. All he had to do was just kill my Windfury Harpy with this creature and then leave my Druid guy on the board. Then, even with the swipe, I wouldn't have had enough damage to kill him off. Alright, we got a win against a warrior who almost beat us. I was basically 1 top deck away from losing. And he had a really bad deck, which actually is really sad to me that I struggled that hard against someone who misplayed that badly and drafted that badly. Maybe this deck isn't as good as I thought. I don't know. I think it's got some good cards in it. I think I only made minor corrections against aggro and still kept a lot of endgame beef.
I must protect the wild.
Okay, well, we're going to mulligan pretty aggressively here. Let's get rid of the Kodo and the Lord. Keep our Panther and our Crocolisk. Well, it seems like pretty sure that we're going to be coining out the Crocolisk on turn 1. There's no reason not to, and I've got this to follow it up. It's possible that my opponent will play a turn 1 Mana Worm. That will change my plans a bit. Then I'll want to play the 3/2 Panther to kill the Mana Worm off. Well, I'm still going to use the coin to play the Crocolisk. Only now on turn 2, my plan is to innervate out the Yeti. That's always a bit scary, especially against mages, because you are going a card down doing that. And there's a chance they have a Fireball or a Polymorph to finish this off. The idea is that, you know, Yeti is card advantage, because usually your opponent has to spend 2 cards killing it. But if your opponent only spends 1 card killing it and you played innervate to get it out, then it's a little bit disconcerting, to say the least. But, I mean, here's the thing. You can't, like, not do that. If you can play a turn 2 Chillwind Yeti, you can't just, like, nah, I don't feel like playing a turn 2 Yeti. That doesn't seem that good. I'll just not do that. Like, you can't not. So you have to just do it. And if you lose, you lose. So be it. Frost Nova? Well, it's an interesting move. So, what this does is it stops me from attacking. And it makes it easier for my opponent to eventually kill this Yeti off. However, she did sink a card into freezing it, so, like, that's kind of cool, I think. Basically, even if she kills this now with a single spell, it really was 2 spells, because there was that spell that kills it, plus the Frost Nova. Now, the question is, do I actually play this for a +1/+1? It stops this from dying to the hero ability. This will still die to Frostbolt plus hero ability, but then she'll have to use it per whole turn, leaving me with the 2/2. I could just make a 3/2 Panther, of course. I think maybe I'll just make a 3/2 Panther. Oh, interesting. I don't get to choose where it goes. So a Cone of Cold would be nice. It would finish off this Crocolisk and freeze my stuff again. But then she's sunk like 2 cards into holding me back. That's why I always say Frost Nova is a better late game card. On turn like 3, it's not that impressive. It's basically like a life gain card if you play it on turn 3. So she paid 2 mana and gained, you know, 6 life. Well, I'm gonna play this guy. I'm gonna heal my Yeti back up. So yeah, the Yeti Gambit, well, it's not really much of a Gambit, but the Yeti play definitely worked out there. It ate up an Arcane Missile and a Frost Nova, and it's still alive and at full health, so I'd say that worked out pretty nicely for me. Alright, there's a secret. Just gonna ping my Panther, as is correct. Looks like I might not have anything to do with this turn unless I top deck a play. Let's see what I get. Keeper of the Growth. Don't really want to play that here. So what we'll do is we'll run in with the Panther to see for a Vaporize. It is a Vaporize. I actually almost prefer that over the Ice Barrier at this point, because that creature wasn't super valuable. No, what am I talking about? Of course an Ice Barrier would have been... Yeah, because an Ice Barrier was 8 life, but the Panther living would have only... So the Ice Barrier would have essentially been like 3 mana for 5 life, which is just awful. Yeah, so it sucks that was Vaporize and not Ice Barrier, but then again, even though Vaporizers are rare, you shouldn't be surprised to see more of them than you see Ice Barriers, given that Ice Barrier is a terrible card. So there's the Polymorph. Finally the Yeti dies, but it ate up 3 cards. Arcane Missile, Frost Nova, and now a Polymorph. So I think it did its job. My opponent's at 13 health, 10 health. Jeez, she's really down low. Man, alright, we're coming up on Flame Strike. The Windfury Harpy does survive it. Now, if you're wondering why I played this rather than the Argent Commander, it's a minor difference, but basically, I don't want this on the board where my opponent can just pop the Divine Shield with her hero ability. I would rather actually pop the Divine Shield by killing something. And at the end of the day, they actually do the same amount of damage. If the Windfury Harpy lives, it'll deal 8. This guy plays, you deal 4, the next turn he deals 8. So they deal the same amount of damage, and they're approximately equally vulnerable. Alright, it's going to silence my Windfury Harpy, which is fine. I can still almost even win this game. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. What is this, 7? Yeah, this is 11 damage. Go ahead and do that. So my opponent's in major trouble here because I've got 6 points of burn in my back pocket. She's going to need some crazy life gain here. And I'm at max life, so nothing she does on the board makes any difference. It's all about the life gain. Well, the Flame Strike, I mean, she would need to have gained like 7 life and played a taunt. I mean, it was just nuts. So let's go ahead and just
I must safeguard the
kill her here. That is that. Well, we're off to a good start. I had a harder game against a warrior than a mage, which is kind of amusing. But against the mage, I also had a better draw. I had the turn 2 Chillwind Yeti, which is pretty snaztacular. Alright, that is it for now then. If you enjoyed the video, do please like and or subscribe. And if you want to see how it all ends, well then by golly, stay tuned, because it's going to be coming up shortly. I'll see you then.